Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Girl Stop, where we talk straight, we are accountable, and most importantly, we figured out how to move forward. So we're glad you're here with us today. We everybody knows this is just our little blurt that we do um, every Tuesday and Thursday, and we're glad you're here with us. We know some of you join us right away. Some of you come back. We are streaming on. Hey, Glenda Barnes, you already know we're streaming on, of course, Facebook in two different groups. We're also on YouTube. We're also on Instagram. So people look at us in different places, and we do appreciate you all taking the time to do that. Today, I have a special guest with us that many of you may not remember, but Tracey is not necessarily new to Woman and Woman. She was back there in the day. I remember meeting her back when she would drive up and participate with us. And so she's here with us today. So I want y'all to help me welcome Miss Tracey. Yes, there she is. Hey, lady.
Hi, dear. How are you, my sister?
I am so glad that you are here with us and you were able to join in. And I'm so ready to hear what you have to share. As we were talking earlier, there are things that we think life teaches us, and so I just want to. I try to step back and let you guys share what Glenda Barnes is saying. Hey, Miss Tracey.
Hello, my sister.
And so. And there's a Facebook user on. I don't have their name. They're saying hi, blessings. I'm not sure who that is. But I'm going to kind of step back. I'll jump in, periodically and join in with you, of course, on the conversation because I'm a chatter anyway.
Please.
But I am so glad you are here. And I know you have some things on your heart that you wanted to kind of share with us as we have been on this topic for the month about living above our circumstances. And you were chatting some with me behind the scene, but I'm going to let you kind of jump in here and I'm going to flow with you. Okay.
Yeah. Part of me of being here is because of life circumstances. A lot of times here in my area, we don't have this kind of, I call it grapevine going on where you have your sister together and we can talk about issues.
Yes.
I wish we did have it here, but we don't. And that is why I'm here with you now.
Yes.
Circumstances have caused me to show up where I'm needed.
Yes.
And that's one thing I learned about circumstances. Get in where you fit in, just wherever you can be used.
Yes.
So I thank y'all for inviting me, letting me come in. And
yes, ma'am. We thank you for coming too. Thank you for
I won't be long. But there's three things I wanted to point out with living above your circumstances. I want to change it a little bit.
Okay.
Kind of overcoming your circumstances.
Okay.
Above kind of makes me feel like trying to get around over beneath. No, you can't.
Right.
One thing, the first thing you got to do is circumstances will come.
Yes.
That's a part of life.
Yes.
And the best way to deal with circumstances is to go through them.
Right.
And a good example of some of the things we were talking about earlier. One of them is I recently decided to change my career. I was a CNA working in the nursing home for years.
Okay.
And my husband started his own business. And I thought, hey, I can do this too. I was inspired to do my own business and got ready to start it. And I was going to be a CNA and go from house to house. And COVID hit.
Right.
Got me scared. I no longer wanted to go to house. I wanted to help, but I didn't know how to do it hands off.
Right.
So I had to try and rearrange and think of other ways. And then another circumstance hit. My mom got sick.
Okay.
And she needed 24-hour care.
Right.
If she made it through the next holiday, I think it was Thanksgiving.
Okay.
And they was telling us, hey, she might not make it through the next holiday.
Right.
We just need, just keep her comfortable or whatever. And thing about me with circumstances is I realized if you go through it, you learn some things.
Hello. That's the
you learn a lot about yourself.
Yes.
I would let me say this. I also want to give people the Bible. Don't remember me and my story, but I want you to remember what the word says. So going from, I want to go with Philippians 4, talking about Paul when he was in prison, and he talks about his circumstances.
Yes.
And one thing he did say, I have learned some things.
Right.
And I understand what he meant.
Right.
There's ways you have to maneuver,
Right.
and when you're set in certain
Right.
circumstances.
Right.
I didn't want to put my mom in the nursing home.
Right.
I was a CNA, and I figure maybe I can learn how to take care of her.
Right.
The nurses said, "Well, we can teach you. Might take a while." It took 2 weeks.
Right.
I took my mama home. My mama
Right.
lived by herself.
Right.
Mama still drives her car. My mama
Wait a
still goes
minute.
to
Wait a
church.
minute. Wait a minute. So now,
My mama is fine. So we had to change a few things, but we didn't let that circumstance stop us
right.
from
Right.
living the life that we knew we were on our way to live. And
Right.
we had done nothing wrong for us to be in the situation. And
Right.
sometimes you're put in circumstances that are no fault of your own. Kind
Right.
of like Paul and being in prison,
Right.
trying to do the right thing still. Now I'm sitting in prison from
Now
doing the
I'm in
right
prison for
thing.
doing the right thing.
Yeah, from
Yes.
doing the right thing. But he did, like him, I also learned some things in the midst of
Right.
it.
Right.
And his lesson that he learned was how to be content.
Right.
Yeah, how to be content in
I
any
love
given
that.
situation.
I love
And
that. I
I,
love that, and learning to be, like you were saying before, learning in every situation that we go through our circumstances and situations, but we are to learn while we're there.
yeah,
But the other thing that you mentioned, being content, it doesn't mean that I'm so happy that this is the way it's going to always be, but I'm content right now in the situation I'm in, knowing that God is going to bring me out of the situation. I will come out of it. And what will I gain as I go through? I think
yeah,
sometimes we are not looking at what we gain from the circumstance, and we
yeah,
come out with something. Glenda says, learn some things from your circumstance. Yes, ma'am. We have to program ourselves a little differently to make sure that we're not wallowing in the
yeah.
circumstance.
Stop being the victim.
Right.
In
Right.
it.
Right. And so that's key to me. And even as you were saying now, that we don't be a victim in it. And I always say not wallowing in it. But so I think so what would be your advice for anybody? Because you're also a life coach, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're doing your life coach thing. I'm glad. I love that.
Yes, I'm
So,
doing it.
so what would
And
be
that's because of this, having to
right?
switch up and some things I've learned from helping mama transition. And that's my part about being a life coach. I
Right.
help people go through change and transition
Right.
and still reach their goals, looking at another way of reaching it, new
Right.
perspective on the way you get there,
Right.
whatever
Right.
it takes. But I need to get you over there, and I'm going to get
We
you
need to
there.
get over there. Right,
Yeah.
right. And we got to go through some circumstances and changes to get there.
Yes.
And so that's what I love. I love that. And like you're saying, being content, but knowing that in this, things are always changing. They're temporary, they're changing, and we got to be ready to move when it's time to move. But helping people transition over, transition through situations is amazing to me. So if we have somebody that, just for example, if we have somebody that's wallowing, let me try to, my head crooked. If we have somebody that's wallowing in their circumstances, and they just haven't figured out. And so I think when you're saying go through, and I'm like, yes, we got to go through. I say above, and I say that because people get in them and they wallow. Like I'm saying, how do you?
Yeah.
Well, what would be your word to them to say, hey, you're saying, like you said,
Look at it, to face it for what it is.
Okay.
Admit it.
Okay.
It's kind of like we talked about slavery. I felt like as African Americans, we're put in the circumstances because those circumstances, hey, we didn't deal with it.
Right.
Nobody's admitting it happened,
right,
or the outcome of it happened. Hey, just get over
right,
it.
We
can't just get over it. We
No.
need to look at what you're asking me to get over.
Right.
There's some things in there you got to deal with before you overcome.
Right.
So I think what I would say is face your problem, admit what the problem is.
Right.
Don't keep, because a lot of times we deny, and it's gonna be all right. Oh, my marriage will get better. Deal with some stuff. It ain't gonna get better until you deal with
until you deal with
problem is. Yeah.
Until you
So
deal
that's
with
what I mean. Yeah, face it head on. And another thing about facing something head on with Paul, he said he learned a secret about contentment. The secret was, once you go through this, you realize I can do all things through Christ.
Exactly. Yeah, I like that.
This ain't the first time. This
Right.
ain't the second time. This won't be the last time, but every time I come out on top.
I come out on top.
Encourage you, like he said, with him being in prison, you can look at it and say, oh, it's not going to look good for. No, it encouraged the
Right.
Philippians church to carry on.
Right.
So you can find encouragement and going through a lot of different life circumstances.
Right.
If you
Right.
stay on your journey, just
If you,
don't lose focus of your goal. That's
I
the
think that's important too, because I think, as you were saying, what popped in my mind when you were saying making sure we face our stuff, is that because I know when we were growing up and even in church, we were taught, and you do this. I'm not saying anything wrong with this. Is that we speak the word and we believe God that He's going to bring us out, but sometimes we did it to the detriment of acting like it wasn't happening.
yeah,
I know of a young lady that passed, because they were believing, she was just a child, and they were believing God that she would be healed. I have nothing wrong. I don't have a problem with you believing God that she would be healed, but they did not take her to the doctor. She was
yeah,
at home, and their belief was God was going to heal her. He break the fever. He do all this, and she was a child, and she didn't go to the doctor, so she died. And so, but their belief was, we'll just keep quoting the scriptures. We're going to believe God, acting as if it's not occurring. You can believe God and still face the situation that's
yeah,
happening in your life, because I don't think you can face it head on and not believe Him. But we don't have to fake like it's not happening. What is occurring in your life is occurring. That does not change the fact that you believe that you're going to come out of it.
yeah. I think sometimes as I'm on this black thing. I'm sorry, I'm African
That's
American,
okay.
and
Go ahead.
I'm
Go
right
ahead.
there right now. I'm
Go
trying to
ahead.
help us get better. So
Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm
I'll
like,
tell you where I found a fault at some of the stuff we do. We tend to take faith and use it to be irresponsible, but doing what we're supposed to be
oh, I
doing.
like that. I
You
like
know,
that. Yes,
um, I,
it's true.
yeah, well, we let it hold us. Oh, God to take care of what? I don't know
Right.
what that means.
Right.
I
Right.
really don't. What do you mean God's got to take
Right.
care of it? No, you got to take care of it.
Right.
Get the answers for Him, but you got to do some stuff now.
Right. Right.
You want to
Right.
talk to Him about it, talk to Him about it, but this is on you. Don't
Right.
leave that up to God. Oh, God did this. It must have been God's plan. Didn't work out. You didn't
Right.
do nothing.
Right.
But so I don't know how that sounds, but
No,
I
it's
do
true.
find sometimes we take faith and use it the wrong way.
I'm thinking,
Sometimes.
as you're saying that, I'm thinking, the scripture tells us faith without works is still dead. So there's some things, that we still have to do, or we find ourselves in these crazy situations where, and then we're blaming God that
Yep.
it didn't happen the way we thought it should happen, or it wasn't the way we thought it should be. But faith without works is dead. We need to get up. There's nothing wrong with believing God. There's nothing wrong with you trusting God and knowing that God is going to do what He said He's going to do. But ask Him for steps and directions for you to walk that thing out. And I think
Yeah.
that's where we're missing, is that we want to quote scriptures and we want to say His faith and we want to say we believe God, but we don't get divine instructions from Him about things that we can do to make that situation better.
Yeah. And He only works through you anyway. So.
Hello, and so that's my thing. So I our blurb is up. We did good.
Hey,
That's quick. And
thank you.
but I just want to remind everybody, like you're
Oh,
saying, that we learn something from every situation, every circumstance. We got to go
yeah.
through it. We learn we come out on the other side stronger and better than what we were when we went in. If we
Yes, you will.
we go through it and not being a victim, not wallowing in it. And the biggest thing, like you said, facing those things head on, not pretending like they're not occurring and that they're not happening. And I think
And God would strengthen you through everything.
yes, He will. He definitely will. And so that's what my final wrap up is on that. But if you have something else that you want to share before we close out, then I'm going to let you do
No,
that.
just thank you. Stay encouraged. Remember your walk. Don't let go of your goals. Keep pressing forward.
Yes.
Give me a call if you need me. I can show you how to get there.
Yes. And you can find Tracey on Facebook too. They can inbox you on there if they want to. Tracey Chaney. And you can get more information about her as well. So I thank you, ma'am. Appreciate you for coming in and joining me. Thank you. Love you guys. Have a blessed day.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.